Hey everyone, got a Virginia traffic ticket or a warning letter from the DMV? Or maybe you're just sick of those sky-high insurance premiums and want a legit way to lower them. Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving into this explainer to show you exactly how an 8-hour driver improvement clinic can literally erase demerit points, save your license from suspension, and score you a sweet insurance discount. Think of this as your ultimate roadmap to taking back control of your Virginia driving record. All right, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We're going to cover why you might need a clinic, how to decode that DMV notice, a quick registration guide, what's actually inside the curriculum, the final benefits you get, and your next steps. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, why take a clinic? We'll look at the 3 paths to point reduction. So, drivers in Virginia generally find themselves on one of 3 tracks. First up, DMV required. This kicks in when you rack up too many demerit points, and the state steps in. Then there's court-ordered, where a judge actually mandates the clinic, usually as part of a deal for a recent ticket. And finally, the voluntary track, where you just choose to take it proactively. Now here's the catch. While the 8-hour class itself is exactly the same for absolutely everybody, your legal outcome depends entirely on which of these 3 tracks you're on. This is where it gets really interesting, because the outcomes are totally different. If you're forced to go by a court or the DMV, finishing the class satisfies that legal requirement and stops your license from getting suspended. Huge relief, right? But it doesn't give you any bonus safe driving points. However, if you're taking it voluntarily, boom, you get a massive boost to your record, earning up to 5 safe driving points, or you can use it to slash your auto insurance premiums. Let's zoom in on those safe driving points for a second. In Virginia, these essentially act as a buffer for your driving record. If your demerit balance is already pretty low, these safe points act like a shield against any future slip-ups. Just keep in mind, the state only lets you cash in on this voluntary reward once every 24 months. So no, you can't just take the course every single weekend to wipe out a lead foot. Moving right along to Section 2, decoding your DMV notice and understanding those strict demerit thresholds. Virginia uses a pretty rigid 2-column threshold system. For adults 18 and older, if you hit 12 points in a single 12-month period or 18 points in 2 years, the DMV is taking immediate action. But if you're under 18, the state is way less forgiving. Just 9 points in a single year is enough to trigger a mandatory clinic. Now, if you do cross those thresholds and get that dreaded mandatory compliance notice in the mail, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 90 days from the date on that letter to pass the clinic. And listen, this is a hard deadline. If day 91 rolls around and you aren't done, your driving privileges are administratively suspended right then and there until you finish it. But what if you get that notice and you don't even live in Virginia at the moment? Say you're a college student out of state, or you're active military stationed somewhere without approved clinics. Don't panic. You can actually request an official extension from the DMV commissioner. If they approve it, your deadline gets pushed back until you have a break in your schedule and can return to the Commonwealth. All right, Section 3, Registration Guide. Let's talk about booking your spot properly. Enrolling is super straightforward if you follow these 4 steps. First, double-check your paperwork for those deadlines we just talked about. Second, and I cannot stress this enough, verify your provider's accreditation on the official state website, dmvnow.com. If you take a class from some random, unapproved website, the state will not recognize it. Huge waste of time. Third, pay your fee and enroll. And fourth, if a judge sent you, you'll usually need to upload your court order directly to the provider so they process everything correctly. When you're picking a class, you've got 2 solid options, in-person or online. Maybe you prefer a single, interactive Saturday class for around $60 with an actual human in the room. Or maybe you want to log on at midnight from your couch in your pajamas for a self-paced online course. Totally up to you. Legally, both require 8 hours of your time. Just a heads up on the online version, though, it uses strict state-mandated page timers, so you definitely can't just click through the whole thing in 20 minutes. And hey, if you're worried about getting price gouged, you will be thrilled to know that Virginia law strictly caps the cost of these clinics at $100. Honestly, because of competition, you'll almost never pay that much anyway. A lot of highly rated online providers charge as little as $39, and those in-person classes usually sit right around that $60 mark. On to Section 4, inside the curriculum. What are you actually going to learn for 8 hours? Well, it's actually surprisingly practical stuff. You are just sitting there memorizing road signs. You're going to learn real hazard scanning techniques, collision avoidance strategies, and you'll get a really solid grasp on Virginia's strict reckless driving laws. You'll also dive into the heavy impacts of distracted and impaired driving, and even study risk patterns for notoriously crazy Virginia interstates, like I-95 and I-64. A lot of folks assume traffic school is going to be agonizingly boring, but real reviews show that a great instructor or a well-built online platform actually makes the time fly. Just look at this review from a student named Sakia about her instructor at One Stop Driving School. She pointed out that her instructor brought so much energy, turning what could have been a long, boring day into an exciting and super informative learning environment. Now, at the very end of your 8-hour journey, you do have to take a final exam. It's 50 multiple choice questions, and you need to score at least an 80% to pass. One quick note for the online folks. Virginia DMV rules restrict you to just one attempt per calendar day. So if you happen to fail, you just have to sleep on it and try again tomorrow. But honestly, if you pay attention, you're gonna do just fine. All right, Section 5, Enjoying Final Benefits. Time for your clean slate. If you took the clinic voluntarily, this is the best part. You are instantly rewarded with up to +5 safe driving points. That is huge, guys. It wipes out past mistakes, builds a buffer against future minor tickets, and totally turns your driving record around. Or if you went the insurance route, you can hand that completion certificate straight to your agent for a premium discount that can literally last for years. Plus, the administrative side is totally seamless. You are not going to be stuck waiting in limbo. State-approved providers actually electronically report your success directly to the Virginia DMV, usually within 24 to 48 hours. So if you are stressing over a mandatory deadline, this swiftly lifts any suspension threats and gets you immediate peace of mind. Finally, Section 6, Next Steps and Disclaimer. Taking control of your driving record. Consider this your ultimate cheat sheet to fixing that Virginia driving record. First, identify your track and your exact deadline. Second, take action by heading over to dmvnow.com to find a legitimate certified provider. Third, pick your format, classroom or online. And fourth, put in those 8 hours and pass that test. Seriously, don't wait until the last minute. Take the steps today to get your license squared away, save some money, and get that peace of mind back. Just a quick reminder before we wrap up. While this explainer gives you a really solid guide based on state rules, your specific legal situation is entirely unique. So always double check your deadlines and eligibility directly with the Virginia DMV or your local court. But as you're weighing your options right now, ask yourself this. Are you going to let one little mistake dictate your insurance rates for the next 3 years? Or are you going to invest 8 hours right now to take back control of your record? Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and drive safe out there.